Welcome to my adult coloring channel. This tutorial is going to be a color along tutorial working in the World of Flowers book by Johanna Basford. I'm going to color the skeleton page from this book, and I would like you guys to grab your coloring book and supplies and color along with me. First, remember that it is important that if you like this kind of tutorial to give it a thumbs up so that I know what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future. If you want to see more adult coloring videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. Subscribing really helps in supporting my channel, and it gives me the ability to be able to grow my channel. Last but not least, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I upload more adult coloring videos. Now let's have some fun and get into this tutorial / color along. So this is my first color along here on YouTube. So I hope you guys really enjoy it. I'm going to be using my precious Holbein 50 pastel set pencils for this one. You guys, let me just start off by letting you know that these pencils are a colorist's dream. I mean, like, oh my God, I love these Holbeins. And the Holbein pastel set is so pretty. They blend so easily and they go down like butter. So that's why I decided to use them for my first color along. However, don't worry if you don't have them, because I understand these pencils are pricey and everyone cannot afford them. But you can choose the same palette in a different set of pencils and get the same look I'll be showing you in this video. I actually got these set of pencils for Christmas from my hubby. So if you guys are interested, I will be doing a review and swatching on the 150 set I just got in a later video. So now let's take a look at the page that we'll be coloring in Johanna Basford World of Flowers. So this is the page we're going to be coloring. And I will put a list of the description of the pencils, and I will put a list of the pencils that we're using in the description box so you guys know what pencils that I'll be using. Also, this video is going to be kind of sped up some, so once I do one flower and the flowers that looks the same, you won't see that exactly, but you'll know to use the same technique as before. So I'm going to start off with this flower right here. I'm going to start off with this flower, and the first color that I'm going to be using is a blue color, and it's called Small Blue OP339. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit. Let me get a little bit closer. There. So now we're a little closer. And see if we're zoomed in enough. There. So I'm going to start off with right here, and I'm going to put the darker blue right in the center of there where those lines are, and you want to kind of go hard pressure. And so I'll go hard pressure here. But yeah, let me tell you about these Holbeins. These Holbeins are so nice. I love them. If you can save up for them, I would suggest save up for them and get you the 50 set. I first bought the 50 set, and I thought that because they come in 150 set, and the next color I'm going to use is Aqua OP322. I don't know if you can see that. but I thought that, so I bought the 50 set first, and the 50 set is just the pastel colors. And I thought that when I bought the 150 set, that would complete the set. But it doesn't work that way. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't buy the 150 set. I bought the 100 set, thinking, 150 makes 150. So I bought the 100 set, thinking that, hey, now I have a complete set, but I was still missing some pencils. There's a repeat in the 100 set of the pastels, if you get what I'm saying, of the pastel. So I'm going to go to the next color of the pastel colors. So basically I have a repeat of some pencils, and I have 150 set, but I don't have the complete set. So I think what I'm going to do is just get some open stock ones. And complete my set. And I'm going to go over that a little more. So I want the purple to be up further. But these pencils blend so easily. I mean, so easily. It's crazy how easy they blend. And I have never used pencils like these pencils. I've never seen pencils like these pencils. I mean, I have the luminous sets also. And this is the last color, OP312. And let me tell you, the luminous is really nice set, but not as nice as these Holbeins. When somebody told me that if you was to describe the Holbeins, I'm going to get my blender pencil and blend it all together. Somebody told me that to describe the Holbeins, you will have to think of if Prismas and polychromos had a baby, that would be the Holbeins. And I mean, that's kind of the way that's kind of the way I would describe it too, but it's so much better than just that. I mean, I can't even describe to you guys. So I'm just going to do that over again. I'm lost in words to describe to you guys what the Holbeins are like. You really, really have to try them out to know what they're like. Because if you don't try them out, my words can't describe them. So that's all I'm saying, is that my words can't describe them. But yeah, I love them. So I'm going to the next color. And that color was, this the same color, the aqua 0323. And this is the next color, 028. 228 ice green. And this one is 312 horizon blue. And I'm just going to put that on the edge of the flower. And I'm going to blend it together. And I'm just going to repeat that on the whole flower. So I might not talk that much. So I'm going back to the, and I think I'm just going to do this color around the whole flower. So that way we don't have to keep switching back and forth. But I want you guys to be able to color along if you have World of Flowers. And I know a lot of people have this book, but you don't have to have the Holbeins to color along. You can pick any colors in your any set and just pick like the same colors. Or you can pick opposite colors. But so at the tip, I'm going in with hard pressure, and I'm just laying this color down on every petal, and then I'll go to the next so I don't have to keep switching so much. And I'm probably going to speed this up a little bit so you guys can see it. So I'm going to do one more in slow motion, just in regular speed so you guys can see it, and then I'm going to speed up the video. So I'll do this one. So I'm going to the next color, which is aqua. Then I'm going to the next one, which is ice cream. And you want to go in with hard pressure when you first start out, and then lighten it up until you introduce your next color. And you're going to introduce your next color right there where there's a blank spot. And you just go hard pressure and introduce your next color. So I'm going to do one more and then we'll speed it up. So this is the Aqua 323. And I'm going to introduce the next color right there where I let up on the pressure. And you're going to go hard pressure at first, and then you're going to go light pressure. And then now we're going to introduce the next color, which is Ice Green 228. And then the next color, which is Horizon Blue 312. Now I'm going to blend it out. And so now I'm going to go to the next petal, and I'm going to speed it up here. So this is how it looks zoomed out. We've did all the blue flowers. I've done all the blue flowers, and now I'm going to move on to the next flower, which is going to be a light blue color. I'm going to use Jade Green 0227 and Cobalt Green 0P225 and Lettuce Green 0P222. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see the flower that I'm working on. So we're going to be working on this flower right here. So let me come down a little bit. And I'll zoom in just a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to start off with my darkest color, which is the Jade Green. And we're going to kind of do the same thing that we did with the blue flower. We're going to start out in the middle of the flower with the darkest color. And I'm going to do a couple of petals. And then once I do a couple of petals, I'll speed it up a little bit. So you're going to go with hard pressure in at first, and then you're going to lighten up where you want to introduce your next color. And the next color, which is the cobalt green, I'm going to introduce it right there where I let up on the pressure. And just add that right in there. And then I'm going to add my next color, which is going to be the lettuce green, right on the tip, right in there where I've added the second color. And so you're just basically going to do that around the whole flower. And I'll do a couple of more. Start off with the darkest one. So you're going to go in with hard pressure. You want that to be kind of dark. Then you're going to let up on the pressure. And you're going to add your next color. And my next color is the cobalt green. And you're going to add that next color right there with hard pressure. You're going to go in with hard pressure, and then you're going to let up on the pressure. And go light pressure where you want to introduce your next color. And the next color is going to be lettuce green. And then right at the tip is where I have the white part at. I'm going to add the lettuce green. And so, yeah, I think the last time, I think what I was talking about before was about how great these blend. These pencils blend so great that, for example, you see how it looks before I even blend it with the colorless blender. I'm going to blend it with the colorless blender, and it's really not going to make a big difference because it's really blended very well. But I'll do it anyway with the colorless blender and burnish it. Burnish it kind of makes it more shiny, so it will do that. But that's how great these pencils are, that they blend so well that you really don't even need a blender pencil. You really don't, unless you just want to make it shine. So I'm going to go to another petal. I'm going to do this bigger one down here so you guys can see that one. And I'm going in with hard pressure. And then I'll let up on the pressure as I come out, because that's where I want to introduce my next color. Then my next color is the cobalt green. So I'm going to introduce my next color right there. And you're going to go in with hard pressure. Then as you come out, you're going to ease up on the pressure. And we're going to leave a little white spot just for the last color, because the lettuce green is what helps make it pop when you add that color on there. So I'm going to add the lettuce green to the tip of that. And see how that makes the colors just pop off the page when you add that highlight color. That's what a highlight does for you if you add a highlight color. And I would call this a highlight color. A lighter color that's in my palette would be the highlight color. So I'm going to add the colorless blender to that to give it some shine and burnish it. And now I'm going to do the rest of the petals. And I'm just going to speed it up while I do the rest of the petals from here. So this is how it looks with all of the blue ones colored. And let me zoom out so you can see that. So that's how it looks with all the blue color. Now I'm going to move on to the next flower in the next color palette that I have. And the next color palette is a pinkish color palette. I'm going to move on to this flower right here. And the colors I'll be using is Rose Gray, OP495. Mauve, OP434. And Cherry Blossom, OP111. I don't know if you guys can see that. And my last one is going to be Sea Fog, OP476. And so I'm going to start out with the mauve color first. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see. And let me zoom in a little bit. There you go. And let me pull it down some. So I'm going to start off on this flower, and we're going to do just like we did the other flowers. So we're going to start off with the darkest color towards the middle, and you're just going to lay that darkest color down in there with hard pressure, and then you're going to let up on the pressure as you go out. Then the next color would be, and because this one is so small, I might not be able to get all the colors in that one. So let me just do that a little bit darker so you guys can see it. And this flower is so small, I might have to zoom in some more just so you can see. So let me zoom in some more. There you go. Now you can see. So this one's not going to be able to get all of the colors that I have. And so since it's not going to be able to get all the colors, I'm going to skip to the last color. And the last color is going to be Cherry Blossom. And I'm just going to put that Cherry Blossom right up in here. And then on top of the dark mauve, I'm going to use Sea Fog. And I'm going to put Sea Fog right on top of that. And it just gives it a little darker color. I'm going to try to add this color in just a little bit, just so it's not. There. So that's how you do that one. So we're going to do another petal. I'm going to do a bigger petal so you guys actually can see. I'm going to do this bigger one over here so you can see much better. And so you start out with the dark one, Rose Gray, right in this, right at the edge of the other petal is where you want to put it, and you want to go hard pressure. Around the, you just basically want to follow around the other petal. Then you want to go light pressure as you go out. and introduce your next color. And my next color is the mauve. So you want to start out hard pressure first where you introduce the next color, where you left off to introduce the next color. And then you go soft pressure as you go out again. And it's just the same steps repeated, basically. And then we're going to add our next color, which is the cherry blossom. Actually, I'm going to add just a little more color on this because I want the cherry blossom just on the tips. So I'm just going to add just a little more color. There. And we're going to add the cherry blossom to the tips. We're going to blend that right in. You're going to bring that up and blend it into the other color. And you're going to start off at the tip, and then you're going to bring it up and pull it up, then pull it into the other color. Then you're going to take the last color, which is the sea fog, and you're going to lay that right on top of the first color right around the edge. And it just gives it like this gray kind of look. I like that it gives it. That's a really pretty color palette. And that's how you do that one. And so then I'm going to blend it out with the colorless blender. And I'm going to make sure I don't have any color on there first. Any other blue color on there before I blend it out. Because I don't want to mix the color into my pink. So I need to clean off the tip. Now the tip's clean. And I'm just going to blend these out. And it's sort of the same, it's sort of almost the same color, if you can see, as the blue center. I use this color for the blue center so that it can coordinate with the rest of the page. And so I'm going to do another one. And I'll try to do a bigger one just so you guys can see. I'll do this one. And so you start off with the rose gray. And and you start off with hard pressure. Oops. And then you're lightening the pressure up as you go out so you can introduce your next color. And my next color is the mauve. And so guys, I've been watching this show. And I don't know why I'm watching this show because it is not a show that I would like. But since we are all stuck in the house with Corona, I just been starting to watch kind of anything just to find something to watch. Then I'm going to go to my next color, which is the cherry blossom. And the show that I'm watching is a reality show, which I really don't watch too many reality shows, but like I said, bored in the house, Corona. So I'm started watching this reality show called Little Women of Atlanta. And let me tell you, this show is so ghetto. But it's not even that good. It's not that good, but it keeps drawing me in, and it's like I don't want to watch it anymore. But I just, you know how you're tired of watching something, you don't really care for it, but you're kind of drawn into the storyline, so you just kind of keep following it. Well, that's what's happened to me with this show. And I'm going to add the last color, which is Sea Fog. And that's going to go on top of the other color, the top of the first color. And so the name of the show is called Little Women of Atlanta. And it's about little people. And I swear, all they do is argue, fight. And I mean fight. I'm talking about throwing blows, you know. And that's why I say it's ghetto. And I'm like, okay, really? Now, don't get me wrong when I say something's ghetto, because I'm not bougie. I come from the hood. I don't live in the hood anymore, but I grew up there. And I'm gonna go to the next petal. And I'm currently in Washington right now, Washington State, for y'all who don't know. But I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And anybody who's from Detroit, Michigan, hello, all my Detroiters. Leave in the comments if you're from Detroit, Michigan. Yeah, so I'm from the hood, so I'm not a person that turns my nose up at something that's, you know, perceived as ghetto or whatever. But I've seen it all. Living there in Detroit, I've seen it all. But these women are just no class whatsoever to me. Just no class whatsoever. For instance, one episode I was watching, they were arguing about who was going to dance at this club and who been dancing at this club longer. Not strippers, just dancing. They had clothes on, they're just dancing. They just like to dance and twerk. So there's two twins on there, and they're called the Tiny Twins, and they go around Atlanta, I guess, and twerk, and they do shows and advertising and stuff like that. So I guess that's what they do for a living. But anyway, they were at this club, and they were dancing. And next thing you know, I don't even know what the argument was about. I think the argument was about who worked at the club first, which is very stupid and childish. But this is why I say it's ghetto. Who worked at the club first? And who's copying off of who? And who's a better twerker? Anyway, they straight up just started fighting. I mean, like brawling, fighting. Literally dragging each other on the floor, pulling each other's hair, and nobody stopped the fight. Somebody literally in the background was like, let them fight. And that's what happened. And I'm kind of ashamed that I even watched this show. I'm ashamed of myself that I watched this show, but there is nothing else to watch, it seems like. So the whole point of my story is, y'all, I need something to watch so I can stop watching. And I'm going to go to the next color, which is Cherry Blossom. So I can stop watching stupid shows like this. So in the comments, if you have a good show you like to watch on Netflix or Hulu or anything like that, let me know. I like mysteries. Those are my favorite type of movies. And I like suspense. Those are my favorite type of movies. So if you know of anything good and something that I probably should follow or try to watch, please, please, please rescue me from Little Women of Atlanta, guys. So I'm just going to the next flower. And after I do this one, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. So that was the rose gray. And this is the mauve. But yeah, I definitely need a show to watch. Ever since Game of Thrones stopped, I just cannot find anything that interests me. I'll start watching something and it's like it's nothing that has my attention like Game of Thrones did. And I think I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that same type of, get my attention. But I haven't found it yet. And I don't know. So I just start watching silly stuff. Just to have something to watch. But yep, that's that on what I've been watching. So you guys let me know what you're watching when you have free time to watch stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video now and get this flower done since you guys seen how the steps go. So now that I'm finished with all of those, I will zoom out to let you guys see how the pink ones look. Okay, so this is how the pink ones are looking so far, and it's looking pretty good. So the next flower we're going to do is the pink, the two flowers at the top. I think I'm going to do these two flowers pink. So let me zoom back in so you guys can see that. Okay. So still a little bit of glare. So the palette that I'm going to be using for this one is going to be the Rose Gray again, $4.95. And the Mauve, $4.34. And the Cherry Blossom, $0.11. And we're going to do this flower here. And so I'm going to do this one a little different than I did this one and these ones. This one we're going to go in with hard pressure at the tip of the flower. Actually, we're going to start with 434, sorry. And we're going to go at the tip of the flower. And we're just going to go in with hard pressure, then let up on the pressure as you go. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see that flower more. There. Yeah, I'm still getting a bad glare. So then you're going to add it to the bottom of the petal. Also the same color. You go in with hard pressure, then let up. And then you're going to take the 011 Cherry Blossom, and you're just going to put that right in the middle of where that white spot is. Right in the middle there. And then you're going to take the other one, the other color, which is Rose Gray, and you're just going to put that on top right there. And a little on the bottom right there. And there. And now we have how we're going to have that flower. And then you need to blend it out with your colorless blender. I'm going to go in with hard pressure right here. And then light. When you get up to the middle, you want to go lighter pressure. And then you're going to do the same thing on the tip of the flower. You're going to go hard pressure. And then when you get towards the middle, you're going to go lighter pressure. But you're going to leave a little gap right there in the middle so that you can add your next color. And the next color that we're adding is the Cherry Blossom. And you're just going to add that right in the middle. And then we're going to do that again with the next one. Hard pressure until you get to the center. Then you're going to let up on the pressure. And you're going to do the same at the other end of the flower. Hard pressure. And you're going to let up on the pressure when you get to the center. And you're going to introduce that next color, which is the Cherry Blossom. in the middle where the white part is. And I'm just going to do that all the way around the flower. The same technique. So this is a pretty simple technique. I think I've shown this technique before. And I will link the video up in the right corner to where I've shown this technique at. Just gonna last one hard pressure, then let up on the pressure. Then do the same thing at the other end of the flower. And then the next flowers, the next pink flowers that I do, which is the one that's right next to it, I'm going to speed up the video. Then we add our next color right on the tip of the flower. I mean, right at the middle of the flower, and that is the 495 Rose Gray. And we're going to add that right around the center of the flower. And just go all the way around and add it right around the center of the flower. Then I'm going to blend the flower together. With my colorless blender. I'm using the Dachi one. The Dachi blender. It's my favorite blender. And it comes with these Holbein pencils. So if you buy the Holbein pencils, the 50 peso set, you'll also get a blender. And it's also in the 150 set too, which I have also. Okay. So now I'm going to complete the other flowers. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. And I'll be speeding up the video. So next I'm going to do these two in pink, these 4 in pink or 5. And the colors that we're going to use is mauve OP 434 and the cherry blossom again OP 0111 and the rose gray again OP 495. I'm just going to do it in a different sequence. So that's why I slowed it down so you guys can see the sequence. I'm going to start out with the mauve 434. And we're just going to start at the top of the flower. And we're just basically going with hard pressure until you get to the center of the flower. And then when you get to the center of the flower, you're going to add your next color, which is going to be your cherry blossom. And you're just going to add the cherry blossom at the bottom of that on up, and you want to carry that cherry blossom up into the other color. So I'm going to go over that again, and I'm hoping you guys can see this one. Just make it a little bit darker. And now the cherry blossom again up into the other color. And so I'm going to go back and do the next one. And then I'm just going to let up on the pressure when I get to halfway to the center of the flower. Then I'm going to add the next color, which is my cherry blossom, on the bottom of the flower. And I'm going to go all the way up into the flower. All the way up. I'm going to go all the way up into the other color. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the Sea Fog 0476 at the bottom, at the very, very bottom. So like on the tip of the flower. And that just gives it a little gray look. It gives it some more dimension, some more depth, basically. Because we have some shading going on, so it gives it a little more depth look into the flower. There. And so I'm going to do the same thing to the flowers at the bottom. I'm going to get my mauve, and I'm just going to add that to the top. And I'm going to take that all the way down to like halfway. And you're going to let up on the pressure when you get halfway. And then you're going to introduce your next color, which is the cherry blossom. And you're going to start at the bottom and go all the way up into that color. So you just start at the bottom and go all the way up into the color. And you don't have to go all the way to the tip, just like maybe partial way up. And then I'm going to take the rose gray at the very top and darken up the top a little bit with that rose gray. Just a little bit, not all the way down. And then I'm going to take my sea fog gray and add it directly on the tip of the flower, just the tip. And then we're going to do the same thing to the next flower. So let's do that again. We're going to take the rose gray. No, I'm sorry, not the rose gray. We're going to take the mauve. And you're going to take that all the way down. Well, not all the way down, but halfway down. So you're going to go in with hard pressure, and then you're going to let up on the pressure as you get to the center of the flower. Then as you get to the center of the flower is where you want to introduce your next color. And my next color is going to be the cherry blossom. And you're going to start at the bottom and take the cherry blossom all the way up into the next color. All the way to the top. You want to take it all the way to the top. Then you're going to take your gray, your sea fog gray, and you're going to put it just on the tips of the flower. So first let me go back to the cherry blossom because I missed a spot. And I'm going to add a little bit of cherry blossom on the bottom right here. Make sure I have that. You want to go hard pressure when you put in your cherry blossom. Now you can take the sea fog and put it on the very tip of the flower. The very tip. You don't want it to go too much. And you want to go in small circles so you're blending it in. You don't want it to be looking like harsh line. You kind of just want to blend it in. And you only want to do the tip. There. And then you take your rose gray and you add it to the top, right where these lines are. And you want to make the flower a little darker at the top and give it a little more depth, a little more dimension. But you only want to do that right at the top. And there you go. So now you take your blender and you blend it all together. And I would start at the lightest part and blend up. It's okay to blend down too, but I like to start at the lightest part and just blend up. And I'm going to blend the other one together that we didn't blend together. And this just burnishes it. It adds some shine to it and it helps blend those colors together and press the colors into the paper, the tooth of the paper. So there we have our pink flowers over here. Now we have one more pink flower. And I'm just going to add the pink flower here and maybe the pink flower here. But you're going to use the same process as I did there. So I'm going to do those off camera. I mean, not off camera. I'm going to speed up the camera and do those. So this is how our skeleton is looking so far. We've added all of the pink and the blue. So now we still have to do some more flowers in the head, and we're going to start working on the face, but we're going to save that for part 2. So this is going to probably be a 2-part or 3-part tutorial. So thank you again for joining me and have a colorful day.